I don't want to call him out. I want to call out the belt. If he has the belt, of course we're going to fight for the belt. If he goes up in weight class, I'm going to fight for whoever got the belt. My goal is the belt, is not Khamzat Chimaev.
And that's the only thing that Pereira does. He waits for you to make a mistake, or he waits for you to get in or come in, and then he hooks you. What else can he do? And that stupid low of his, what else can he do? He's in the clinch, he's on the floor, he's in grappling. And we saw him getting out. Ankalaev did a pretty good job of outboxing him, kickboxing him.
If Nassourdine is the one to fight Khamzat, how do you think he does?
I don't know how anyone beats Khamzat at the moment.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah.
He's a menace, man. After
Honestly,
that Brickus fight,
his wrestling is so high level.
Thoughts on future middleweight title fight? It looks like that was the other thing.
I think Khamzat versus Imavov, but I'm not gonna just cancel out Imavov now because his takedown defense. If he can take away the wrestling from Khamzat, he'll give him problems. That's what you have to do. Khamzat can strike, but I see what I see. But his wrestling is his main weapon, and he commits a lot to the wrestling. He gets the grip, he takes people down, keeps him down. So if Nassourdine can get past that, he'll give Khamzat problems. But right now, Khamzat's on point. He's got the momentum behind him, and so does Imavov. Who's gonna win? We'll see.
Nassourdine Imavov has defeated Caio Borralho at UFC Paris and is now just one step away from fighting Khamzat Chimaev for the UFC title. Dana White already said that Khamzat Chimaev's next challenger could emerge from either the Reinier de Ridder versus Anthony Hernandez fight or the Nassourdine Imavov versus Caio Borralho matchup. He notes that both bouts have major significance for the middleweight division and will shape who faces Chimaev next.
In the main event, it's a 5-round fight between middleweight contenders Reinier de Ridder and Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. That is a bad fight. And obviously next month in Paris, we have another top middleweight contender fight between number 2 ranked Imavov and 7th ranked Borralho. And then Vancouver is a few weeks later. We'll see how this whole thing plays out. And we're gonna end up with a middleweight challenger for Khamzat Chimaev's title that he just won. So these fights have massive implications.
Nassourdine Imavov took the opportunity and called out Khamzat in a respectful manner. He congratulates Khamzat Chimaev on his UFC Paris victory, but clarifies that he isn't targeting him personally. His focus is on the title itself, stating that it doesn't matter who holds it, he wants the belt.
Nassourdine Imavov, listen, congratulations, brother, and final message for Khamzat Chimaev.
Félicitations, je suis content pour lui. Il a gagné la ceinture. C'est quelqu'un que je connais, je sais que tu t'attends à un... Je suis le prochain pour combattre pour la ceinture. Est-ce qu'il aura toujours la ceinture à ce moment-là? Est-ce que peut-être qu'il va monter de gâteau ou descendre? Parce qu'il parlait. Il m'a pas call-out, donc j'ai pas envie de le call-out. Je veux juste combattre contre la ceinture et je call-out la ceinture. C'est vraiment à mon tour.
Il a dit félicitations. Sorry, he said congratulations, congratulations for the victory, congratulations for the belt. I don't want to call him out. I want to call out the belt. If he has the belt, of course we're going to fight for the belt. If he goes up in weight class, I'm going to fight for whoever got the belt. My goal is the belt, is not Khamzat Chimaev.
Imavov is very confident that he will get the next title shot and shows no concern about the upcoming RDR versus Anthony Hernandez fight. He points to his 5 wins over top 10 opponents and insists that he deserves the next UFC middleweight title shot against Khamzat Chimaev.
You said after the fight, you said there's no other option for me than the title shot. Obviously, we've got that fight in Vancouver, so will you even go out there to watch that fight, or are you just gonna stay here?
Ok, j'étais pas au courant. Enfin, j'ai vu qu'ils avaient annoncé, mais je savais pas où est-ce qu'ils combattaient. Enfin, c'est moi le prochain, je m'inquiète même pas pour ce combat.
Yeah, I'm the next. I'm not even worried about the next fight. I mean, you have to be realist, and no one did what I did for the last year, and I just, five opponents, 5 top 10 guys, 2 finishes. I mean, no one did that.
However, talking about his fight, Nassourdine Imavov admits he saw Caio Borralho struggle during their fight at UFC Paris. He notes that Borralho started the week highly motivated, but every exchange made things harder for him. Imavov adds that it's tough to stay driven when an opponent leaves no openings.
What did you think about this fight, right? Because I was listening to Caio's interview after the fight, and he was talking about how he lost his adrenaline. He just couldn't get motivated once he was in there. And there was a certain moment in the fight, I think it was at the end of the second round, there might have been 10 seconds left, and he didn't even look towards you. There was 10 seconds left and he kind of was already walking to his corner. So could you kind of feel him disengaging and kind of breaking down as the fight went on?
J'ai ressenti, ouais. J'ai ressenti, il était plus déterminé avant le combat. Tu sais, il y a une semaine, il était beaucoup plus déterminé. Je pensais qu'il allait me rentrer dedans. Mais voilà, à chaque fois que je le touchais, il a essayé il bougeait énormément. Il essayait d'éviter la distance de frappe.
Yeah, I felt it. I felt he was a lot more motivated a week before the fight. During the fight, it was more difficult, and I felt like every time I touched him, it was difficult for him. But you know, when there is no solution for the opponent, it's very difficult to stay motivated.
Meanwhile, Robert Whittaker doesn't see anyone beating Khamzat Chimaev at the moment. He highlights Khamzat's elite wrestling and believes only a fighter with exceptional jiu-jitsu could challenge him. Whittaker also notes that anything can happen in a fight, like a sudden knee or kick changing the result.
If Nassourdine is the one to fight Khamzat, how do you think he does?
I don't know how anyone beats Khamzat at the moment.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, yeah.
He's a menace, man. After
Honestly,
that Frickers fight,
like his wrestling is so high level. Like, it's you need like, I feel like the way to beat him is with high level jiu-jitsu. So if Imavov has high level back jiu-jitsu, you know, which I know he does have high level jiu-jitsu, but if it's that high level, like Gilbert Burns high level, then maybe we'll see something. But I don't know. There's also, fights are funny. Like, anything can happen to them. You know?
For sure.
Maybe Chimaev like dives into a knee or a foot.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the other hand, after a dominant performance at UFC 319, Khamzat Chimaev targets becoming a double champion and claiming the top spot in the pound-for-pound rankings. He hints at dropping a weight class to challenge the winner of Islam Makhachev versus John Jones for his second title.
So if I was to look to the pound-for-pound list, is that a list that matters to you, and where would you put yourself?
I don't know. I don't care who does that things, you know, so for sure it has to be number one.
Even before UFC 319, Khamzat Chimaev made it clear he wanted to stay healthy and avoid injuries while chasing another belt. He explained that he would be ready for whatever the UFC offers, whether defending his title or facing a new opponent. On a possible fight with Islam Makhachev, he said it depends on the result of Islam versus Jack Della Maddalena, noting that an Islam victory could quickly set up that matchup.
After this fight, and you become the middleweight champion, would you rather defend at 185 or try to get another belt right away?
It doesn't matter. So I will be ready. I hope there's no injury, nothing's gonna happen in the fight. So maybe defend the belt, maybe fight somebody. I'm doing my business, so it doesn't matter if they give me money. So I will fight anyone.
Is there a world where you could end up fighting Islam Makhachev at 170?
We will see who is gonna be the champ there, but it's the fastest way. If the guy wins the fight, fastest way to get the fight won.
Similarly, Kamaru Usman also expresses interest in facing the winner of Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. He suggests that if JDM wins the title, the best way to prove himself as the new generation champion would be to fight a top name like Usman, a former pound-for-pound leader in the division.
If JDM defends and wins defends that title against Islam, who better than to say, okay, let's solidify him as the new generation of champion by taking on the biggest name, the former pound for pound in the division? Of course, me. And listen, and then of course, if Islam wins, pound for pound versus pound for pound fighting. I mean, I'm not really worried here. You know, I've done my job to let them know, because they wanted to see, hey, are you still that guy? Can you still hang with these guys? Can you still do your thing? And I've done that. I went in and I've showed them that, so I'm not worried.
Moreover, Khamzat Chimaev also shared his thoughts on Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, describing it as a challenging matchup but slightly favoring Islam to come out on top.
And who do you think is going to win in the fight between Jack Della and Islam?
It's a good fight, but a tough fight. I go a little bit more on Islam.
The Islam versus JDM fight is also coming in November, and the fans are very excited for it, especially after the recent warning from JDM to Islam about his striking. Jack Della Maddalena notes that Islam Makhachev's striking is more predictable than Belal Muhammad's because he sticks to one stance and a traditional style. Despite this, he recognizes Islam as the pound-for-pound #1 and admits the fight will be challenging. Jack adds that his approach is to analyze Islam's past fights carefully, develop a strong game plan, and prepare thoroughly.
I mean, it's just, I think Islam Makhachev is a better version of Belal. I think his striking on the feet is, I think it's easier, the striking on the feet, I think it's easier than Belal because he'll stay in one stance, he's more traditional style. But yeah, he's the pound for pound #1, so it's a tough fight, but I guess we'll just watch all these fights again, make a solid game plan, and then just start working at it. From pretty much now, I'm going to start working on ways to beat him, different ways to get back to my feet, stuff in the takedown, but I'm pretty confident I can get this one done.
On the other hand, Islam Makhachev is also putting in serious work for his upcoming fight, aware that Jack Della Maddalena will be a strong challenge. He commends Jack's growth, particularly in wrestling, and praises his performance against Belal Muhammad. Islam respects Jack as a complete fighter, but feels the matchup will quickly show who the superior athlete is.
What do you think he's going to be a hard fight for you? I know he said he wants to get one back for Alexander Volkanovski here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard fight. Honestly, it's gonna be. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good, man. He is good. When he beginning fighting in UFC, he had a problem with the wrestling, but now he's improved because I see he training a lot with their wrestlers, with their grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now, and he's good everywhere. But we will see who is the best fighter in the world.
Yeah,
very soon.
Yeah.
And it's going very quick.
Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, responds to Jack Della Madalena's comments by warning him not to underestimate Islam's striking. He explains that anyone who thinks the fight will be easy will quickly find out it's much tougher in the cage. Mendez emphasizes that facing Islam is always challenging for strikers, and the fight feels very different up close than it does from the outside.
JDM did an interview just, I think, this week, and he broke down that he believes Islam's stand-up is a little bit easier to deal with than Bilal's because Islam has more of a traditional style for his stand-up. Do you feel like people are kind of missing some of the X factors that Islam brings with his striking?
If he's saying that, I hope that he goes in believing that, because when he gets in there with Islam, you're going to find out a whole different story because I'm sorry, they're completely different. And by no means is Islam an easy for anybody on the stand-up. Any MMA fighter that's a striker, that's not going to have an easy time with him. I've been with this kid like going on 11 years of watching him just destroy everybody on the stand-up, guys that are much better stand-up than him, and he still destroys them. So no, don't go by what you see. When you get in there with that man, it's a whole different ballgame.
However, Michael Bisping thinks an upset by Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 322 is possible. He highlights Jack's size, takedown defense, and sharp boxing as major advantages. Bisping feels Jack is performing at a high level and believes there's a genuine chance he could walk away as the champion.
So Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, that has been announced, but I tell you what, Jack Della Maddalena is bigger. He showed that he can stop takedowns. On the feet, there's absolutely no question. Jack Della Maddalena is on another level. He's probably got the best, cleanest boxing in the UFC. It wouldn't surprise me if we see an upset here and Jack Della Maddalena is still the champion at the end of the day.
Robert Whitaker analyzes the fight and favors Jack Della Maddalena. He believes Jack's toughness and determination can help him handle Islam Makhachev's wrestling pressure. Whitaker notes that Jack's striking could make the difference if the fight remains standing and thinks Islam might be careful with takedowns, aware that Jack can still be dangerous from his back.
I'm going to go Jack. I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns, to fight the ground, the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. I think Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. I think, and this is people sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back.
Furthermore, Dustin Poirier believes Islam Makhachev might be more comfortable at welterweight due to his natural size and strength. He notes that the key in a fight against Jack Della Maddalena would be whether Jack can keep the action standing to use his striking. For Poirier, the matchup is less about Islam's pressure and more about Jack's control over the fight's pace and location.
Speaking of Islam, what's your thoughts on him moving up to welterweight?
He's a big guy. I think he's going to fill into that weight. He's a really big 155er. So I think his lifestyle outside of training camp is going to be a little more comfortable, and he'll fill into that weight class no problem. He could be champion there for sure.
How do you think he does against JDM?
I think the beginning of the fight's going to tell the story, like how well JDM does at getting up, how well JDM does at keeping Islam off of his feet, off of his legs, off of the cage. It's tough to call that because JDM's a big guy, athletic. I'm excited about that. A lot of fun fights in the future.
Alexander Volkanovski also praises Jack Della Madalena's development, particularly after his impressive win over Bilal Muhammad. He sees that performance as a strong lead-in to a fight with Islam Makhachev. Volkanovski highlights Jack's improved takedown defense and considers him more dangerous now, capable of challenging top-level wrestlers.
Islam Makhachev is going to be fighting Jack Della Maddalena. How do you think those two match up?
I think Jack's fight against Bilal was a perfect fight for leading into that. Just purely, you take a lot out of stop and takedowns, because again, every fighter's still going to have little doubts that are going to creep in. I'm sure Jack was going through that, being like, all right, worried about, what if he takes me down and all that. But the fact that he was able to stop it and feel so comfortable, I guarantee you he's leveled up again. His confidence in his takedowns has just went up significantly leading into this fight. I think his confidence is going to be at a whole nother level. So through camp, I guarantee you, if he's back in training right now, people trying to take him down are going to find it almost impossible. Only the top guys are going to have a chance of taking him down, and they're going to have a very hard time even holding him down.
Welterweight fighter Colby Covington also shared his thoughts and predicts a win for Islam Makhachev over Jack Della Maddalena. He acknowledges that Islam may be smaller, being a natural lightweight, but praises his well-rounded skills. Colby believes that if Islam can secure takedowns and maintain control, he has a solid chance to win. He also notes that the size difference adds intrigue, but ultimately sides with the favorite, given the odds.
Islam versus JDM. What do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
Moreover, Luke Rockhold offers a different view on the potential matchup, focusing on how Islam Makhachev would handle the physical demands of welterweight. He explains that moving up in weight can alter a fighter's rhythm and pace, and going against a composed striker like Jack Della Maddalena could expose those changes. Rockhold sees the main question as whether Islam's body can adapt to the new division while facing a patient, rangy opponent.
Do you see him beating JDM to win that welterweight title?
That's a tough fight. That's a very tough fight. It's going to be interesting. I think those are my 3 favorite fighters in the UFC right now. We go Islam to Poirier and JDM. JDM, he's fun to watch. So, that's going to be a great fight. He's no slouch at wrestling, but you have a guy that's wrestled his whole life and grappled his whole life versus JDM, who's kind of he's secondary on that, but you never know. He's a bigger guy. So, you know, we'll see how Islam, how he bulks up and how he looks. He looks a lot bigger than what I remember. I used to train with him forever. So, I mean, he's definitely grown. You know, we'll see how he carries the weight.
However, Jack Della Maddalena's coach, Ben Vickers, believes Islam Makhachev will face challenges against Jack's striking power. He notes that unlike Belal Muhammad, Islam isn't used to absorbing clean, heavy shots. Vickers emphasizes that Jack's knockout threat exists throughout the fight and highlights his combination of power and conditioning as key elements that could decide the outcome.
I just don't think Islam has the chin that Belal has.
You feel like it's a situation where this is going to be an eventual down the line, like third, fourth round, or do you think people might even be shocked to see it happen earlier on?
We know for a fact if Jack clips someone clean on the chin, they can go over. So it could happen in the first minute, it could happen in the 24th minute, it could happen in the 24 minute 59 seconds, it could happen 3 rounds in. Jack likes long fights, you know, he likes to be in there, but obviously we're not getting paid for overtime. So if the opportunity arises, we're happy to take it. But Jack's cardio, as we saw, Bilal's reputedly the best like cardio in the UFC, and Jack out cardioed him. Belal was more tired than Jack towards the end of the fight. So you know, Jack's cardio is exceptional, his power is exceptional, and yeah, I like the fight, I really do.
Ben Vickers comments on Islam Makhachev's potential at welterweight, pointing out that while Islam is naturally strong, Jack Della Maddalena holds a size and power advantage on the feet. He explains that moving up after years at lightweight could affect Islam's speed, movement, and cardio. Even with time to adapt, Vickers admits it's hard to predict how well Islam's skills and strength will carry over against a true welterweight.
It's going to be fascinating to see what Islam looks like at this weight class. What do you think? Do you think a lot of his power, a lot of his strength translates to the division with Jack?
It's so hard to tell, to be honest. He's a big dude. He's a good fighter, you know. Jack's bigger. Jack's probably stronger. He's got more power on the feet. But I don't know what kind of fighter he's going to be. What I do know is that as a fighter who's fought at 70 his whole career, this is going to be his first time in a very competitive matchup at welterweight, and it's different. It's a different, you know, it's going to be different for him. He's carrying more weight, and obviously he's had months now to prepare for this and get used to carrying the weight, but he's been fighting at lightweight for a decade. You know, so to then move up a weight class, it is different. And I don't know how that's going to affect his gas tank, his ability to move as well.
Islam Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, also sees Jack Della Maddalena as a different kind of challenge for Islam compared to past opponents. He focuses on Jack's unpredictability, timing, and effective body shots, noting that Jack can create opportunities without relying only on knockouts. Mendez stresses that Islam's team needs a strategic approach, carefully studying Jack's movements and actively generating openings rather than waiting for them.
I think what makes JDM so dangerous, number one, he's unbeaten for quite a while. Yep. He's had quite a long win streak, and the fact that this guy mixes it up extremely well. He goes to the body, to the head. He doesn't just stick head hunting. He mixes it all up. He goes body, punch, boom, and then also the kick comes. And with him, his takedown defense is really, really good also. So we are not in a situation where we can think, oh, we're going to go to the ground and we're going to, no, we got to see what he's going to give us. And we have to, we're going to have to make him give us something, because I don't know if he's going to. He's really that good.
On the other hand, Merab Dvalishvili's coach, John Wood, weighs in on a potential fight between Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev. He calls it an exciting matchup, noting that Jack has experience against similar styles. Wood believes Jack might hold the edge in striking, but emphasizes that the outcome hinges on whether he can defend against Islam's takedowns.
I like it. I think that's a great fight. I feel like if Jack can keep building upon what he did in his, you know, in against Belal, I mean, he's seen that style now from a champion, and it's, you know, very similar to what Islam's going to do. I think Islam does it a little bit better. So as long as Jack is improving and getting better and his confidence is there, it's very interesting. I feel like on the feet, you know, I think Jack's got him on the feet. It's just that obviously if that takedown defense can hold up, that's the thing.
John Wood added that it's difficult to bet against Islam Makhachev at this point. He explains that until someone truly figures him out, Islam remains the favorite. Wood highlights Islam's threat on the ground and his effective striking, which sets up takedowns. While there are small gaps in Islam's game, no one has fully exploited them yet. He believes Jack could make the fight challenging if he finds the solution, but for now, Wood wouldn't pick against Islam.
It's one of those things where you can't bet against Islam at this point in time until you see a chink in the armor. It's like betting against Morocco. You can do it. It's not a smart bet, but until someone figures out that puzzle, I don't know. Islam is a different kind of cat on the ground, and his striking is not bad. He's going to come at you and get you to strike, and eventually, take a shot. There are some holes in his game and holes in the entries, and obviously. Being Team Khabib, there are definitely some things that you can expose to get that win. And if Jack figures that out, I think it'd be a long night for Islam. But again, I wouldn't bet against Islam until I see somebody kind of break that code.
Israel Adesanya supports Jack Della Maddalena to beat Islam Makhachev. He believes Islam will struggle with Jack's scrambles and his skill at resetting after takedowns. Adesanya expresses full confidence in Jack and says he plans to watch the fight live.
Della versus Islam. Della is going to get it done. Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because his scrambles are crazy, and I feel he's going to knock him out, because I just think he's not going to be able to hand with him on the scrambles, or when he gets back up, I really think he's going to get him, and I can't wait till that happens.
So that's all for today's video. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to check out our other videos for more awesome MMA content.